we're excited to tell you a little bit more about EasyA, a little bit on our backgrounds, and of course, then Dom will take over just towards the end as well to share a little bit more about how the 60 days of XRP Leisure has been going, and in particular, how you can get involved as well. This is, as you've been hearing all day long, pretty much once in a lifetime opportunity, something very, very special, and we're excited to share with you too. But just as a brief intro on ourselves, you may have noticed from the pictures, Dom and I look relatively similar. We sometimes get mistaken for identical twins. We are brothers and co-founders as well. You might be able to tell from the accent, grew up in London together with Dom, and I did my undergrad over at Cambridge University. Actually took a break from software engineering, became an attorney in New York, of all things, but very quickly saw the light side again and came back to Web3 and software engineering afterwards. And Dom had his background. He actually left me in the UK. As I went off to Cambridge, he went off to UPenn Wharton, and then moved out to New York afterwards. He was at Blackstone. So that's a little bit on us. Of course, here are a couple of the other guys, and we have a team of 15 others across engineering, content, operations. So those are the people who work day in, day out to bring the EasyA app to life. What is the EasyA? Well, EasyA is a mobile app, and it's Web3's #1 learning app. We actually recently hit over 100,000 monthly active developers using the EasyA app, and that number has actually increased very, very quickly, which we're going to be making an announcement on soon as well. But who are these developers? Well, they're people who are excited about building new apps. I realize they're probably blocking a little bit of this screen, but what we're really excited about is the fact that they get funded and really build these into real startups. So our founders have been funded by the likes of A16Z, Y Combinator, Polygon Labs, and of course, they come from some of the world's best universities and elsewhere as well. But I'll hand over at this point to Dom, who's going to talk us through a little bit more about the XRP Leisure EVM and what we've been seeing so far.
Thanks everyone for being here. So yeah, exactly. Talking a bit about our XRPL challenges, they've actually been some of our most popular yet, with just crossing today actually 90,000 builders already learning about them. So real excitement about the XRP Ledger in our community and obviously in the XRP community too. Being able to build obviously is something that's super important to a lot of people, and unlocking that value again is something a lot of people are really excited about. So basically, as of the slides, time of making the slides, we had almost 80,000 developers complete the challenges, and that was literally a couple of days ago. Today we're up to over 90,000, which is super exciting and just shows the momentum that's in the space, and obviously the excitement around the XRP Ledger. And it's only been 5 weeks actually since we launched our XRP Ledger challenges in the EasyA app, which is super awesome to see. And ultimately, we're going to be concluding this in-app challenge series with a big Ripple hackathon actually, or XRP Ledger hackathon in London. We're going to be getting a couple hundred developers from these challenges and actually getting them in one venue in the heart of London to get them to build for 36 hours and actually deploy their dApps and present them and pitch them for follow-on funding from the ecosystem and other VCs who are going to be there. So really excited about getting all these amazing developers in one room and actually getting them to show us what they've learned. But essentially, if you download the app, you'll see Duolingo style a walkthrough of the chains that we work with, and obviously, here we're highlighting the XRP Ledger, but ultimately, it's all about making complicated concepts simple and easy to use for people. So making sure you can actually literally click your way through to learning, maybe getting an intro to XRP Ledger, actually to deploying your first smart contract. And as the Pierce's team was saying, these people on these challenges are actually driving real activity in the ecosystem, which is super cool to see. Cool. Moving on to the next slide, you can see a couple of different things that we really drive home with the challenges. Number one is actually GitHub activity, so making sure these people are actually building new repos, adding to existing repos, and they can do that all through the EasyA app, which is super cool. Ultimately, also culminating their journey in deploying a smart contract, making sure that there are real tangible results that developers get to when they complete these challenges, and then obviously, increasing the monthly active developers in the ecosystem, which for something new like the XRP ledger is super important, obviously. And this all spins a really, really powerful flywheel, which allows more developers to come in, obviously, seeing that activity and seeing all of these cool projects being built. So for the first time, we're going to be seeing a lot of these projects come to life in London in a couple months' time, where we host that XRP Ledger Hackathon. Cool, so what does it actually look like in the app? A lot of you already, we've spoken to, have the app on your phones, which is awesome to see. But ultimately, we call it the Duolingo for blockchain. And ultimately, what that means is everything is app-based. You never have to leave the app. You never have to go to external resources. You never have to, crawl the internet for a variety of different documents like you would normally have to do. And once you click into the particular chain you want to learn about, we take you on a journey. So very much from the foundings of XRP, why they built the ledger, and ultimately, how to actually deploy a smart contract. You can see pretty much a very simplified version on the screens here. But yeah, the ultimate kind of like aha moment is when you can actually deploy a smart contract. So that's what you see on the farmost side, and obviously along the way, we allow you to actually code in the app, so you can liken it kind of to Code Academy, but obviously all mobile-based. And the reason it's all mobile-based is because that's where most people spend their time, and where we really see the future heading in terms of development, and also obviously in terms of onboarding people to new platforms like the XRP Ledger.
So if you are taking an Uber back, or if you're walking back or taking a bus back, the EasyA app is a way to learn about whatever blockchain you're most excited about. Of course, after today, we hope that you're extremely excited about being one of the first people to really tap into the EVM sidechain. As David said earlier, it's literally not even on mainnet yet, still testnet. So you can literally be one of the first people to deploy on Aave, Aave on the EVM sidechain, or the equivalent of a Uniswap, or the equivalent of any other dApp as well. And as Farhan said earlier, I think one of the most exciting things about it is the fact that you are able to build one of these dApps and actually deploy it, right? And it's not necessarily something you need to build totally from scratch. You can, of course, do that, and it's greenfield. But at the same time, you can take something that already has found product market fit in another ecosystem and start building that here. And so in the EasyA app, we take you on a journey from learning just about some of the origins behind the XRP ledger, of course, founded over 10 years ago and launched over 10 years ago and still up and running without errors over this long period of time, but then taking it all the way to actually modern day, or the contemporary times with what we have with Uniswap. And so what you will actually be able to do is right from within the EasyA app, deploy Uniswap v3 just with the press of a few buttons. And that is literally just how easy it is with the EasyA app, but also with the EVM sidechain. If you're familiar with Uniswap v3, it's a very, very complicated beast. There's a lot going on under the hood, but just by forking it and just by making a few changes, you can have your very own one that deploys into the EVM sidechain, and then later on potentially attracts all the liquidity that there is within the XRP ledger ecosystem, and of course with the token XRP. So of course we'll be here, so come and find us if you have any questions about how it works. Stay in touch. Here are our socials, and of course also emails. But to be honest, Twitter is probably the best way to keep in touch. So just follow us at EasyA app, and we can't wait to see what you build as well. If you are coming by London, I know a couple of you here are from London as well, so come by to the next hackathon and come by as well to Apex. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. Thanks everybody for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day.